They've got copies of this as well. I can do that.
Just give it 1 minute, I'll just get them off and then we'll talk.
Yeah. Hi, good morning everyone.
Thank you.
Hi, good morning everyone. A huge thanks to Shai and her colleagues and everyone at the forum for the invitation to join you today. A big thanks to Millennium Primary School. Certainly where we come from at the British Council, we're very keen to work with a whole range of schools and organisations to talk about the real power, value and benefits of international education. I was born and raised in Yorkshire. I actually went to university in Essex, and part of my interest in internationalism was about living overseas. It was a great opportunity just basically to discover what connects us all, and again where we come from at the British Council is that fundamental belief that those things that unite us are much more interesting than those things that may divide us. So again, a huge thanks to our colleagues from the FCO who actually give us quite a lot of the funding for the work of the British Council. It's very important that young people and schools and educators do learn about those connections across the globe. And the British Council's in, 109 countries. And basically we work to foster that close understanding through arts, through education, through society. And a bit of history, 1934 obviously the world was had many challenges. So it was thought good that Britain, free of any propaganda, free of any kind of preconceptions, free of any posh white men that had been to Oxford and Eton as well, I haven't been there either. It was very important that we actually learn from each other. So those exchanges, those resources, those links, basically to learn firsthand from everyone. And that friendly knowledge and understanding, I think, has underpinned all of our work. And we work closely with government, but we're arm's length from government, so we're very much about those cultural opportunities. I'm not in HR or recruitment, but we work closely with them, and part of my role is basically to foster that understanding, to link schools, to link educators. So the British Council provides a whole range of really interesting opportunities, although like the FCO, not always terribly well paid, but it's a really interesting set of roles. And we've been doing that since 1934. We won't be the British Council, we didn't give you any handouts about this, so everything we're talking about is actually on our fact sheets. And again, if you want further information about particular aspects of our work, do stay in touch. Okay, that global understanding, that friendly knowledge is underpinned by lots of programs, lots of services in English language, arts, education, society. They're the fundamental tenets of all our work, filters through that. Because again, we believe it's hugely important to engage with each other firsthand. So it's not just about the website, it's not just about producing resources, but actually about that face-to-face contact. And a lot of my work is actually going into schools in the UK and overseas and connecting head teachers, connecting young people, and encourage them to think globally as well. Because it's so important, increasingly so, that young people have that first-hand understanding of each other. We'll be talking shortly about all these programs that are brought under the Study, Work, Create label, and again they provide thousands of opportunities for young people to live overseas, to actually get engaged in schools, to pursue languages, get involved in filmmaking, a whole range of opportunities. Okay, these were, we actually asked literally hundreds of young people who had actually been through British Council activity and were actually looking to work globally. What do you think those skills are that are required? How do you think you actually get them embedded in your own CV? Interestingly, we are looking for a whole broad range of people, you know, through, it can be formal, non-formal education, through vocational, educational spheres. So whatever your own personal journey, the British Council can support that. These came through very strongly, but what was interesting was resilience and initiative featured very highly as well. We want young people that can actually take on challenges, that can actually learn what it means to connect globally as well. We've highlighted some of the ones, well, the top ones: the confidence, those organisational skills, improved language skills, time management, leadership and professional work experience. So again, if you're looking for a career in the British Council, and conversely in any global environment, we can support you with those and actually put you in touch with organisations as well that can give you those opportunities. We also produce a whole range of documents that go out to schools and organisations to highlight to them the importance of language, the importance of travel, the importance of global experience. We call these our thought leadership documents, and these are actually written often by young people who actually come into the organisation and advocate for greater resource being put into global education. So lots of skills there, lots of ways to get involved, and certainly my time living and working overseas, resourcefulness has been in there, and certainly the ability to live alone, and a lot of initiative there. So I hope these have resonance with all of us that are looking for a global career, a career where certainly research and creativity and problem solving are at the heart of any of the opportunities. My colleague actually, who should have been with me today, is actually interviewing young people to spend time in India. One of our opportunities is what we call the UK India programme, and it offers opportunities for young people in the UK to have real work experiences in Indian companies. Obviously we're aware the growing importance of India as in the global economy. So as well as these language skills, we also offer real work experience opportunities. And again, this is what the British Council is involved with in terms of scholarships and placements and mobility. We're very broad in terms of offering opportunities. So even if you're not a British citizen, there are still opportunities to get involved. I work with colleagues from across Europe and across the globe. So again, the British Council is very open to a whole range of backgrounds there, particularly living in the UK. So those scholarships and placements are very important in terms of where we come from, and in terms of back at the ranch, as it were. I'm based in our London office, although we have offices in Manchester and Belfast and Cardiff and Edinburgh. and they encourage intra-UK working as well, because it's very interesting, obviously, with devolved educational establishments, you can actually glean a lot of intra-UK knowledge as well. And it's great to be in Greenwich as well, where we recently did a project actually of linking schools on Greenwich Mean Time. So again, great to be here in terms of an international forum. There are many schools across the globe who actually were fascinated that a school was in Greenwich and said, oh my gosh, time was invented there, wasn't it? So again, great to work with Millennium. We hope to be doing a project with them as well. So again, it's a great way of looking at your own narrative, your own background in the UK, and actually relaying that in an overseas context. Okay, what we call our core skills, and again, these are very flexible, but we've brought a whole range of what we call our core skills together, managing those people and projects. Obviously incredibly important, communicating and influencing a whole range of groups, planning, organisational, data, finance, technology, risk and business. And increasingly important to managing accounts and partnerships. Because obviously in terms of reduced funding, the British Council is always looking for new ways of working to get new partnerships and bring other organisations and institutions on board who share our fundamental belief in the power of communication, because we are a people-to-people organisation. So everything we're talking about is brought together on our britishcouncil.org website. So if you have particular inquiries about our work in arts or education and society or English, go to the relevant pages. We also have a dedicated support team that can talk you through the options as well, because again, we stress that every individual is important, that every individual's story is important as well. So whatever your background, whatever your own commitment to learning more about this great conversation of mankind, as we're delighted to work with you. Our study work create opportunities, and there's a flyer here. We brought together a whole range of opportunities. So if you're looking to study in Europe or China or across India, or what we call our Active Citizens Programme, to work in society projects across the globe, lots of them brought together with Study Work Create. So this has a dedicated helpline as well. So if you're looking particularly to get experience, do get involved in Study Work Create opportunities. I lived and travelled, for nearly 3 years, and I've been with the British Council now, sound like a veteran, 14 years, it always sounds a long time, that's 2002. And that was actually to look after, primarily it was higher education partnerships, so these were to get academics travelling overseas and sharing information. I'm now manager of our International School Award Programme, and that's again part of our friends from the FCO were talking about the advocacy work and showing young people think globally, that in terms of they can do anything they want to take advantage of a whole range of opportunities, because unfortunately many young people in the UK often don't think these opportunities are for me, it's for someone else, or it's for more an elite group, when in fact any young person anywhere, we would say travel, learn a language, actually get that international experience. It's fantastic for the CV and it's truly life-changing. So all these core skills brought together, so if there are any job opportunities, to a greater or lesser extent, these will be reflected in them. This is all brought together as well what we call our behaviours, and again we're a very value-based organisation. We've got a huge commitment to equality and diversity, and we're very keen that people-to-people aspect of the work is reflected. So we will accept applications from any group. You know, we're very keen to have a wide representation of young people. So creating that shared purpose, ensuring that teamwork, ensuring that we have that shared commitment to activities. Might sound obvious, but again, it's very fundamental to us that we connect with each other. So this isn't just about the Skype and the webcams and the technology, but we actually encourage that face-to-face connection with each other to dispel myths and stereotypes. Obviously the importance of working together, bringing young people together, bringing different groups together. A fantastic part of my role is actually convening those audiences. We're at an event, next month in Nottingham, where we're bringing together educators from across Europe who actually want to look at how technology can be used to better support communication. But obviously the face-to-face aspect of it, we're bringing them together as well. Being accountable, very important that we all have that sense of responsibility and we can carry through our own projects. Very important to make things happen, of course, and of course shaping the future. And again, whatever role the British Council you're involved with, everyone has that role in actually feedback in terms of how do you think the British Council should be working in different areas. So again, a huge commitment to development, a huge commitment to training, and if you want to learn language, or if you want a job swap, or if you want a period in another company, the British Council can do that. Because it's very important that we're arm's length from government, we're arm's length from a whole range of organisations, because again, we believe in the power of intercultural awareness, and it's a great place to work in that extent because it is very flexible as well, because at its heart is working with people. Few opportunities we can highlight, as well as our language assistance programme, which actually places young people in schools overseas, and likewise brings teachers from overseas to experience UK schools. We also have opportunities in China, and India and Thailand. These are just an example of them. Again, if you go on Study Work Create, you can register for the newsletter. So if you're particularly interested in spending a period of time overseas, that will be sent directly to you. So again, hugely popular, and my colleague has actually interviewed young people who are actually going into to be a teacher in India. Active Citizens, a great programme, and again this is very much about getting young people in the community, often in communities that have challenges, that will require a more sensitive approach to actually get on board and actually celebrate the great work they're doing in schools or non-formal education. And a fairly new programme, if you're involved in filmmaking, you can actually get funding to support you as a filmmaker. And again, part of our work in the arts is to support drama and dance and film and TV, and all aspects of artistic endeavour can be supported by the British Council. So all brought together on Study Work Create. I've never seen it cut up like that again, but again, opportunities to work for the British Council. You go to britishcouncil.org, but if you're particularly interested in living and working overseas, it's on Study Work Create. And interestingly, many of the young people who have been involved in this have said our CVs do need that boost in terms of periods overseas, in terms of what we call the wow factor, having something on there that employers will say, wow, tell us more about that period overseas, tell us more about when you learned that language, and actually we're put in a fairly unfamiliar situation. Because again, part of our belief at the British Council is important, that the key importance that young people travel and learn from each other. It can be a very complex global environment out there, so the more that we are learning firsthand from each other, this makes for that safer, more prosperous world. All put together on Study Work Create. And we have a Facebook page, tweet out everything, get involved, and if you particularly want those opportunities at Study Work Create, but for those careers in the UK, britishcouncil.org, and go to the recruitment pages. When I started working in 2002 on the higher education programmes, that developed into working with UK schools, and now I work with schools in the UK and schools overseas in order to engage head teachers, principals, young people in making those connections. And schools who do this work can get what we call our British Council International School Award. And that's to celebrate and acknowledge the fantastic work that schools are doing, because we believe very much that education has that power to transform, that when you actually plant the seed of knowledge, and this is an amazing thing to actually be able to live overseas and travel, it's a great thing that permeates through the rest of your career. So we hope you get involved. If you ever want to come to our offices, we're in Trafalgar Square, and we can actually talk to you directly if you wish. We've obviously got the pages on our website. We can actually come to your university, come to your school, anything you need from us in order to tell you further information about the power and benefits of living and working overseas. And also it makes for an incredibly interesting career back in the UK as well. I've never been on telly speaking Albanian, that was a great story, but certainly in terms of the fantastic people you'll meet, the most enriching experiences as well. We met an educator actually in India, a head teacher who was 93 years old, and it was really absolutely amazing that they saw their life's work as actually empowering young people, and they were treated absolutely as local celebrities. And again, thanks to you for coming today, and thanks for all your own commitment to international work, and anything the British Council can do to support your own journey, we'd be delighted to do so. So thanks for listening. And we've got you all a pen as well, so do collect your pen at coffee, and the website's on there.
Any questions, anyone?
Hello, yes.
Hi, I have one question. I know that you do have a graduate scheme. I'm just wondering, I think in the past year you probably had sort of a reform of it. Will it be opening for this year at all?
It will, yes. There is a graduate scheme. It's fairly limited, but we recruit about 20 a year, so that will be opening in June, I believe. But if I take your details, I'll particularly, when the link goes live on the website, I'll tell you.
Brilliant, thank you.
Yes.
The other question, how many paid internships you can provide with young people who try to work in British Council or generally things like that?
Yeah, there are running parallel with the graduate programme, there is an internship programme for approximately 10 to 12 young people every year as well. In fact, many of my colleagues actually came through the internship route as well. Because as our colleagues from the FSO were very keen that they are given quite meaty roles, quite specific tasks. One of my colleagues was responsible for a social media campaign over a recent state visit. So, do get involved either at the graduate or internship programme. Hello, yes.
Hi, I was just wondering about the English teaching program. So you need to be a native speaker for that, or are there other options if you do like a NIELTS test that you can?
Yeah, there are other options. There is a flexibility, and like other organisations that say you've got to be specific, we're looking for reasons to engage young people. So if you have got a good level of English knowledge, even if you're not a native English speaker, we're always looking for ways to support you. So you would have a specific interview, as it were, with colleagues who are recruiting for the English language.
Okay.
Hello, sir, the purple.
Could you start off?
Hello, sorry.
I'm just wondering, you mentioned young people. What is the age limit for those opportunities for young people?
Well, it's interesting. We use it very flexibly. One of our colleagues that went on the assistance programme to China was 66 years old. It's very flexible. There are some that, upper age, maybe 25, 28, but if someone has good reasons for doing it and want to engage, we've had retired teachers actually go and teach English in China. So again, do look on the website for the specific age range. So we say young people very loosely. We're all young at heart.
So you made the point that because of the need to create like intercultural awareness, it was important that you kept an arm's length from the government. Why is that?
Well, in as much as in terms of our history, 1934 we were created, and it was actually to engage with organisations, with countries that politically we may find it difficult to engage with. So we will engage. For example, we actually have an exhibition recently with North Korea. So because where we come from, it's very much about keeping communication going. When the politics can be challenging, we accept obviously there can be challenges in actually dealing with certain countries. Where we come from, it's very much about the people and the culture and the interaction. So we have we had a great artist exhibition from Syrian refugees. We actually have a group of Syrian theatre troupe coming over shortly. The Queens of Syria. A very interesting artistic group, and we accept that it can be challenging out there. So we want to keep that communication going even in difficult times, and we feel that's like arm's length helps in that.
So just one. Do you inform the government then? Do you ever produce reports to them, or?
Oh sure, absolutely. If you go on the website, all the annual reports. Obviously, we get elements of funding from the Commonwealth Office. So there is obviously a relationship with the Department of Education, with the devolved administrations in Scotland, Northern Ireland and Wales. So all the time, although we're working with established organisations and institutions, we're very keen that what our remit is very much about the people-to-people contact.
Any other questions? Thank you so much.
Thank you. And we collect your information.
We're a little ahead of schedule in terms of refreshment break. So if you want to catch the ladies from the FCO, we'll also have people from the British Council. If you want to help yourself to tea and coffee, we've got some literature here that they wanted to hand out. So we will resume again at 11:30. We've got an additional speaker who's going to be coming in as well, so you can make sure you're back here prompt for 11:30. That'll be great. Thank you. What we have got to have. Listen, I wanted to have a quick look. Oh, you know what? I'll let these guys grab. Do you want to run off? Okay, I'll leave you to.
Hello, sir. Good to see you.
And for the internship, so it's like templates.
I'll get on it for you. I can go on their email addresses and everything as well. What I'll do is I'll take these to the...